You know what's crazy? Maybe a little bit weird if you ask me. The house that you want to buy, the one that hasn't been built yet, no foundation, no frame, no roof, is already more expensive right now. Not because of the neighborhood that you chose, even though that's a real nice neighborhood. Not about the interest rate that you and I have been complaining about or venting about for the last few years, but because of a nail. A nail. The cost of building material in the United States rose up 34% between 2020 and 2025. You heard that right. And if you have me on silent, you read that right. 34%. And that number, according to the National Association of Home Builders, translates directly into, get this, $10,900 added to the price of a brand new home before the latest round of tariffs even kick in. And now we've got a Senate bill trying to fix it, or trying to fix this concern. Senate Democrats just introduced legislation to pull building materials off the tariff list entirely. Gone. The question is whether it goes anywhere at all, or whether the damage has already been done to that it cannot be reversed at all. Either way, this story affects you right now, whether you're buying, selling, or just wondering why new construction in San Antonio seems to keep on climbing and go up and up. Let's get into it before you and I can start getting frustrated. By the way, hit that button right there, it really helps the channel. Here is the common belief I want you to push back on today: that new construction is somehow cleaner, simpler option for buyers. The idea is that if you just walk straight into the builder, you sidestep the drama of the resale market. No bidding wars and no emotional sellers, the inspection surprises, and look, there's some truth to that. But what nobody talks about is that new construction is absorbing every single supply chain shock happening to the United States economy right now. And the tariffs are one of the biggest ones. Here's the thing about building a house. It uses a lot of material, and I'm not preaching to the choir, you know it's true, that come from other countries. Lumber from Canada, a quarter of all U.S. home builder supply comes from there. Steel and aluminum from across the road. Engineering wood products, drywall components, roofing material, all sitting in the crosshair of the trade policy that's happening right now. And what happens when tariffs hit those materials? Builders panic. There was literally a run on nails, because contractors started stockpiling before the prices started spiking. That's not an economy functioning smoothly. That's people hedging against chaos, and that chaos has a dollar amount attached to it that you end up paying in your purchase price. Now, the National Association of Home Builders says that roughly 60% of home builders already have felt the cost impacted of tariffs. 60%. That's not a fringe effect. That's a majority of the industry building your future home, absorbing costs they're going to pass along to you. Let me break this down where their exposure is, because not all material is created equally when it comes to tariff risk. The National Association of Home Builders did its math. Builders imported $14 billion in construction material in 2024. That sounds like a lot, but it's actually only 7% of the total of $204 billion in material used. So the bulk of what goes into the house is domestic, which is good. But here's the problem. 7% is concentrated into the most critical aspects of construction materials. Softwood lumber, which is for framing and exterior work, is 25% imported. 85% that comes from Canada. When Canada and the United States have a tariff dispute, your frame cost goes up. Steel and aluminum, I can't talk anymore. Steel and aluminum, another major risk. These are global imported, and they're everywhere in our modern homes. Now here's the legislation piece. Senate Democrats just introduced SA 3943, a bill that would automatically exempt list of home building materials from the current and future tariffs. It would also create a process where companies can apply for tariff exemption on a case-by-case basis. The bill was sponsored by a senator from Nevada, Delaware, Virginia, New Jersey, Maryland, and New Mexico. The National Association of Home Builders has been lobbying hard exactly for this kind of exemption. The National Association of Home Builders chairman said it directly, the tariff dispute supply and introduction market is uncertainty, exactly the kind of instability that slows down construction and raises costs for buyers and renters alike. Now, this bill, does this bill pass? Honestly, that's unclear. Trump doubled down on tariffs in his State of the Union address. He said he believes they are generating financial benefits for the United States in trade negotiations, so we have a political standoff between the goals of the housing affordability and the goals of the trade leverage. And caught in the middle, builders and buyers, which is you. The National Association of Home Builders says they already started slowing down the pace of work, not because the demand is disappearing, but because uncertainty makes it real hard to price a project. Sign a contract and a commitment to a timeline when lumber costs might be changing next month. The head of the National Lumber and Building Materials Dealers Association said it plainly. Tariffs on construction input create market volatility and can delay or discourage new housing starts. Let me break it down to buyers for a second. If you've been eyeing a new construction or a new home in San Antonio right now, whether it's KB Home, Lennar, Pulte Communities, or a local builder, here's what it means for you practically. The price you've been quoted today might not be the price that you're going to be closing at. Builders are navigating material costs swinging in real time. Some are adding escalation clauses to the contracts. Others are eating the cost temporarily and baking them into the base price later. Either way, the cost pressure is real. And here's the frustrating part. This is not your fault at all. You did not cause the tariffs. You did not create a supply chain disruption. You just want a house. You are absorbing the downstream effects of policy decisions made thousands of miles away in Washington. That feels unfair because it is unfair. What I want you to know is this: understanding it puts you ahead. If you know the cost pressure is real right now, you can negotiate smarter. You can ask builders the right questions. You can shop builders who are more isolated because they're locked into the material price. You can consider resale homes where you are not paying a premium for material sourced during a tariff spike. Sellers, here's something you might not have fully processed just yet. You actually benefit from this situation. I know it's counterintuitive, but follow the logic. If new construction costs are rising, new homes are getting more expensive. If new homes are getting more expensive, buyers would have gone new start looking at resales. That is you. You're suddenly more competitive. Your established home with a yard that's already grown in, a neighborhood that's already been developed and established, a price point that does not have a tariff surcharge baked into it. Looks very attractive right now, doesn't it? And underneath all of this policy noise, tariffs, bills, Senate votes, trade negotiation, there are real people trying to build real lives. If family in San Antonio is already trying to get into a neighborhood before school starts, if veterans trying to use their VA loan to build on a new build, not realizing the price went up $10,000 since the builder's website was last updated, a first-time home buyer finally saves enough money and now the goalpost has moved. That's the human cost of this, and it matters. I'm going to be straight with you because I don't do hype. This bill to exempt building materials from tariffs may or may not pass. If it does, material costs could stabilize or even drop slightly, which would eventually give builders more room on pricing, which is great. But eventually, it's doing a lot of work in that sentence. The price relief, if it comes, is not instant, and in the meantime, costs keep on moving up. What does this mean practically? The new construction home being priced right now are already reflecting some tariff cost. The homes that have not broken ground yet will be priced with even more exposure. If you're eyeing a specific builder or specific community that is in the early phases, that phase you're looking at today might not be a favorable pricing you'll see in that development. And for resale buyers that are looking into to selling their home, same story, different chapter. If a new construction price keeps rising and fewer new homes get started because builders are pulling back, the pressure shifts to the existing resale market. Less new supply means more competition for existing homes. You're already seeing this dynamic play in other Texas metros. San Antonio is not immune. What smart San Antonio buyers are doing right now that you have to fully understand. Ask builders for lock-in material prices before signing any contract. Explore resale homes as hedge against tariff-influenced new construction costs. Get pre-approved right now so they can move fast when the right home appears. Work with an experienced agent who understands the builder contracts, escalation clause. Look into communities in early phases before later phases. Price in more exposure to San Antonio is actually a fascinating case study right here, because we have one of the most active new construction markets in Texas. Builders have been pouring into San Antonio market for years, attracting land availability, lower cost compared to Dallas and Austin, and consistent demand driven by military, healthcare, and our growing technology growth. That means we have more exposure to tariffs related to construction cost pressures than a market that is not building much at all. But it also means we have options. More builders competing means more incentives. More communities means more price points. The key is knowing which builders are more isolated, which ones are locked in lumber and material contracts before the tariff spike, versus which ones are absorbing the full hit right now. And San Antonio's economy foundation is genuinely solid. Joint Base San Antonio, the South Texas Medical Center, Toyota. These employers our drivers don't disappear when tariff policy shifts. That means the demand side of the market stays strong even when the supply side gets complicated. For buyers, that's actually good news. You're buying into a market that's durable, long-term value. For sellers, it means your home is not going to lose a buyer pool anytime soon. So here's where we are. Tariffs on building materials have already added nearly $11,000 to the cost of new homes. 60% of builders are absorbing real cost increase right now. A Senate bill is trying to fix it, but Washington is watching it and fixing it. If it comes, it's not coming overnight. What this means for you is that the homes being built today are being priced out in a more expensive environment than anything we've seen since 2020. And if you're planning to buy new construction, you need to ask different questions when you're asking that you were asking a year ago. And if you're considering resale, you might actually be sitting in a stronger position than you realize. Here's what I want you to walk away with today. This market rewards people who understand it, the ones who know what questions to ask a builder, the ones who know when resale is actually the smarter play, the ones who do not just react to headlines, but fully understand what the headlines actually mean for their specific situation. That's exactly the conversation we have with our clients every single week. No pressure, no sales pitch, not at all. Just a real look at the numbers and what they mean to you. We do free strategy sessions. We bring your situation. We bring the data and local expertise. Link in the descriptions below or hit that button on the screen. If this video gave you a clearer picture of what is actually going on in the housing market or San Antonio housing market right now, share it. Your friends who are trying to buy or build a new home need to hear this. Hit that subscribe button right there if you want to stay ahead of the market every single week. My name is Jesse with the Garza Home Team. San Antonio is my city and I love it here, and hopefully it becomes yours in the very near future. Rosa and I actually answer our phones, which is weird. Like, share, and don't forget to subscribe.